Day by day, dear Lord, to you these things we pray, to hear and see you more clearly, to love you and love like you more dearly, and to follow in your ways more nearly, day by day. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. Judith and Diana reminded us in their last sermons that Epiphany is a time of light. The Reverend James Liggett explains, Epiphany begins with the light of the star leading the wise men, and then ends with the shining radiance of Jesus' garments in the Transfiguration. In between, this image of light haunts many of the readings and collects throughout the season. Our gospel today is Luke's version of Matthew's Sermon on the Mount. There are several major differences between the two. First of all, in Luke's account, Jesus is standing on the plain with and among the people, not on a mountain above them. He also only has 4 blesseds and includes 4 woes. Luke's account may make us feel a little uncomfortable, for sometimes Jesus sheds light on areas of our lives we would rather not examine. As Peter Easton comments, Jesus is not only teaching on the plain, but plainly. Listen to Jesus' talk of plain words from the words of the message. You are blessed when you've lost it all. God's kingdom is there for the finding. You are blessed when you're ravenously hungry. You're ready for the messianic meal. You're blessed when the tears flow freely. Joy comes in the morning. Count yourself blessed every time someone cuts you down or throws you out. Every time someone smears or blackens your name to discredit me. What it means is the truth is too close for comfort, and that person is uncomfortable. You can be glad when that happens. Skip like a lamb if you'd like to. For even though they don't like it, I do. And all heaven applauds. And know that you're in good company. My preachers and witnesses have always been treated like this. Give your life away. But it's trouble ahead if you think you've made it. What you have is all you'll ever get. And it's trouble ahead if you're satisfied with yourself. Yourself will not satisfy you for long. And it's trouble ahead if you think that life is all fun and games. There's suffering to be met, and you're going to meet it. There's trouble ahead when you live only for the approval of others, saying what flatters them, doing what indulges them. Popularity contests are not truth contests. Look how many scoundrel preachers were approved by your ancestors. Your task is to be true, not popular. Jesus' plain talk is about our relationship with God and what God cares about. The Reverend Liggett continues. Jesus offers us his picture of God's values and God's priorities. And he offers them as an alternative to the vision of life we usually carry around with us. We can only act on what we can see. And Jesus is giving us the chance to see farther and clearer and deeper than ever before. The vision of life we usually carry around with us is described in the woes. Security and meaning cannot be found in amassing money and or material goods. These deeply felt needs cannot be met by relying on ourselves or seeking the approval of others. Woes rely on human abilities and focus on self. These woes are directed toward anyone and everyone who does not put the love of and dependence on God first in their lives. The only life coach we need is Jesus, and the only riches we need are the blessings of God. Blessed acknowledges total dependence on God. One commentator defined blessed as having a right relationship with God. Another understood blessed as that peace which passes all understanding, a peace that does not rely on external circumstances, but is an internal calm due to the lack of fear based on complete trust in God. The hymn, Heal Me, Hands of Jesus, which we'll be singing during communion, expounds on this kind of blessed peace. While our Father does deeply care about the plight of the poor, hungry, those in mourning, and the persecuted, it is their complete reliance on Him that is blessed. Both the reading from Jeremiah and Psalm 1 compare those who have a right relationship with God to trees with strong roots. These roots not only connect them to the source of their lives, God, but also sustain them during trying times. On several occasions since our General Convention last summer, you've heard about the way of love. Following the way of love by turning, learning, praying, worshiping, blessing, going, and resting is one way of establishing and nourishing a deeper, stronger relationship with God. This Lent, we are going to study each of these facets, especially as they relate to the lessons we'll be reading at the Easter Vigil. Epiphany is a time of light, revealing who Jesus is and who we are created to be. Today's lessons direct us to turn toward the light of the world and away from the neon lights of our culture. God does not just want a nod from us in His direction. He wants all of us, our hearts, our minds, our souls, for it's only in Him that we can find true life. It's that simple and that difficult. As Jesus warned us, we cannot serve two masters. Becca from Thistle Farm stated that it's not a matter of juggling the demands of the world with the calling of Christ. It is a matter of total surrender to and complete dependence on God. May the light of Christ shining today through the lessons, the prayers, the hymns, and the Eucharist help us to reorient our lives to our Creator, acknowledging God as a source of all that we have and all that we need. May it be so. Amen.
Amen.